Hello and welcome to my craft room. My name's Dawn and I'm making videos as I work through the many projects that I've bought over the years. This week we went away for a few days, so I've had very little time in my craft room, but I have a very patient husband and we visited some lovely little shops. Admittedly, we weren't in them for very long and we did do lots of other things and had a lovely time, but I am very grateful to my very patient husband. So the first shop we went to was in Bridport in Dorset, which was near where we were staying. We were staying in Burton Bradstock in a lovely little apartment overlooking the sea, and I will just put up a picture of the view that we had from the apartment, and I'll also put in the description the link to the place that we hired it from in case anybody else wants to have some time with that view. So as I said, the first one we went to was in Bridport and it was called the Fabric Larder. It was a little tiny shop, and the only way I think I can describe this shop is like it was a jumble sale for fabric. I have never seen so much fabric all bundled together, and you could have a right old rummage through it. And it was just, there were so many different things in there that I had never seen before. And they had some books for sale, some second-hand books, quilting books, and one of the books was this one, the Sampler Quilt book, and it has different blocks. It was based on a course that was run by a lady, can't remember her name, Lynn Edwards I think it was, and she then wrote the book about the course, and there's a mixture of hand sewing and machine sewing, and in the course they would do a machine sewn block and then move on to a hand piece block, which was finished as homework. And I really like this. This is what it looks like when it's finished. And I thought, oh, that would be such a fun thing to do with all these different blocks. And as I say, it was a second-hand book, so it cost me £4.50. So I bought the book, and I don't know why, because it's not a colour I use a lot, but I just felt like I wanted to do it in like oranges and yellows, and I do have some in my stash, but also when we go away I do like to get something from these local shops, because I think it's important that we do shop local, and I buy a lot of my material and yarn from my local shops, although at the moment obviously I'm not, because I'm trying to work through some of it. So I did buy some fabric, and I know I said I wasn't buying any more fabric, but as I say, I do like to help these little shops, and they tend to be in touristy areas which maybe don't get a lot of traffic from crafters, because they are a bit out the way. So I bought 2 pieces of fabric, bearing in mind that I wanted to do this quilt in oranges and yellows. So the first bit I got was this, and the second bit I got was this. So I'm planning on using these in that quilt. So then we went to our apartment and settled in, and the next day we went to Lyme Regis in Dorset, and Lyme Regis is a place that we go to a lot as a family. We've had many family holidays with my brother, my sister-in-law and their 2 girls. Sophie got married last week. So we know Lyme Regis quite well. And I wasn't looking for a fabric shop, because in the past there's never been a fabric shop there. And my husband spotted it, and he sort of pulled me back and went, "You've missed this shop." And the shop was called A Stitch in Lime, It's always been there, but it hasn't always sold fabric and yarn. So I did take some pictures inside the shop, and I'll share them with you now. Really lovely, and I did message my sister-in-law and say, did you know there's a yarn shop in Lyme Regis? And she was like, no, where? So I'm pretty certain that next time we're all down there, myself and Tina will be heading into that shop. But true to form, I bought something shopping local. I have finished a baby's cardigan for one of my best friend's daughter, who's just had a little girl. But I need the buttons, so I got the buttons from there. They're tiny little flowers with a pink edge, so I bought those. And then I got this fat quarter, again yellows, oranges, and then because I just couldn't resist it, I got this one with some buttons on, and then this one with some sewing on. But yeah, it was a really lovely shop. You didn't necessarily realise that there was so much upstairs, but yeah, I had a lovely 10-15 minutes in there, all thanks to my husband for calling me back. And then the next day we decided we were going to go to Weymouth, which is a place that we've been to occasionally but not very often. We had a nice walk along the seafront, we had an ice cream, we had lunch there, and we went to a shop called So and So's in Weymouth, and again it had a huge collection of material, and here's some pictures of it. It was in this shop, I got this material. Is it going to be upside down? Yes, it is. This material, and it's beautiful rose, English rose, collection of roses. You can't see the colour very well, but it does have pink in it. And I got that for the backing on this quilt, which I need to get finished. So I thought that would actually go quite well with the pinks in that. So that was purchased for a specific project, and I'm hoping I'm going to have enough of that to do the binding as well. So I just need to sandwich that together, because I went through my stash and I found what I think is enough wadding, so I won't need to purchase that to be able to finish this quilt. So I was really pleased with that. But next door to that fabric in the shop was this piece, and knowing my love of English paper piecing, I've never seen anything like this before, so I did get a bit of this. And what I'm finding as I'm working through my stash is that I do have a lot of material, but it's nearly all fat quarters, and I don't have bigger pieces of material when you need that something different. So if I do see something that I think will go with what I've got, then I might get it, but not just go out shopping. It's got to be something that really calls out to me. People in So and So's were super friendly, as they have all been in all the shops. Yeah, so I got that, and we had a lovely time in Weymouth. Very nice pie and mash I had for dinner that day. So yeah, really nice. Just had a bit of a wander around, and it's just nice not to have to do anything. So then we got to Friday, which was the day we were coming home, and I had already seen the next shop on Instagram, and I had shared it with my husband before we went and said, do you think there's any possibility we could go here? And he found it and said absolutely we can go there. And this one was called Paper and String, and it's a little bit harder to find, but definitely well worth the visit. And we originally ended up going down 2 different drives that were not Paper and String, but a lovely man in the second one gave us directions, and we found it, and it was just incredible. So here's some pictures of Paper and String. So people in this shop were super friendly. They've already started following me on Instagram, and I'm following them back, and I did buy some material. Of course I did. So going again on the yellow, orange, pinky scheme, I got these. She did have an offer on the fat quarters. These, I like this pink one. It's like confetti, and this one's got tiny little yellow dots in it. And that's got a pink square in it. And then I got this piece of material, and I'm actually making, there will be a video on it, I'm making a spin around quilt. So this is one of the blocks that I'm making, and I thought I would use this as the sashing. It's not coming out very well there. Use it as the sashing, because I thought that actually went quite well with that quilt, and picked out this dark colour here. So yeah, so that was for a quilt that I'm making as well. And one of our trips out, we went to Abbotsbury Tropical Gardens, and I'd already had this feeling that I wanted to do a quilt with like orange, yellows, fuchsia pink, that kind of colour, and there was a plant there, and I put a picture of it up, that had those colours together. So yeah, I thought, well, if it's good enough for nature, it's good enough for my quilt. I don't know when I'm going to start it, but I do have it. Also at Abbotsbury Tropical Gardens, there was a bridge that went over, and it had these triangles in the side of it, which I took a picture of, which I'll put up here. And I thought, oh, I wonder if you could do that with patchwork, because I like the way that triangles were slightly different sizes. So I think I'm going to have a go at doing that with foundation paper piecing, because I think that's probably the way to go, because they are different sizes. And then maybe use that in some sort of quilt, but I don't know yet. It just called out to me, so I took a picture of it, and we'll see where that leads us. So that's what I've been up to this week. Not really anything to show you that's finished, because obviously we were spending time out and about, investigating the local area, eating a lot of cake, drinking a lot of tea, but not a lot of crafting. I did start my blue cardigan that I showed a couple of weeks ago in the car, so I've nearly used up one of the 14 balls. So it's quite thin, I think it's 4-ply. So it's taking a little while to grow, but I do think it'd be lovely once it's finished. But yeah, I've done that in the car when we've been travelling a little way. So hopefully next week I'll have something to show that's finished. But I can recommend all those places. I think some of them do have mail order, so I will check that and put that in the link in the description for you. So that's it for this week. Thank you for watching and joining me in my craft room. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe, and you can also follow me on Instagram, which gives a bit more of a regular update on what I'm up to, and that is at the end of this video. So thank you very much for all watching. Happy crafting, and I'll see you next week. Bye.